What's going on, everyone? This is Ashley Schuler here, host of the Systems Lab Live Monday edition. This is week 3 of I Got Too Much Work. We're in the Inside Job series, exploring all things work management. Welcome to the program. Very excited on this Monday to be with you all today. It has been an amazing month of October, amazing weekend at hand. Had a fantastic opportunity to go to church, to go to a church banquet, my mother's pastor's anniversary. Lots of fun, lots of excitement there. What else was going on? What else was going on? What happened on Saturday? Working on a very special project with a wonderful group of individuals. And I'm very excited to be serving in that role as someone who is the organizer, the planner, someone that is very much loving and enjoying seeing what it means to organize something in such a way where people can then flourish in their gifting. So for me, that just brings me great joy. And just as a side note, I am trying out Instagram via StreamYard. And once again, it has failed. What are we going to do, people? But it's okay because we are here on LinkedIn Live and on YouTube. I just actually posted my Systems Lab Live promo on inside a couple community groups. I have to put that as a part of my my workflow. Yeah, because I have a little checklist thing in ClickUp where I kind of go through. It's like a mini task SOP of how I go about planning a live show. It kind of goes through like what's step 1, what's step 2, and then all the checklist items. And one of them says DM 5 people about the show. And I just feel like I've never done that. I mean, that's just the truth. I just have not done that. And I just feel at times very odd about DMing people for a certain thing. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe I should take the approach of just spamming a whole bunch of people. But I don't feel like that's my natural Ashley Schuler thing. Like when I go into the DMs, folks, let me just be very clear and transparent. When I go into the DMs, it is with intention to have conversation. And so therefore it does not occur to me to do what? Go in and just like promote something. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't, it just, unless I'm already in conversation with someone about it. But I just usually I'll post it and then I'll share it to my story. That's pretty much it. So, ways in which I can do better in terms of how to engage people in Systems Lab Live and, and all of that. I believe I will start to look into this YouTube strategy, right? And how best I can go about increasing viewership. Because 104 people is a lot of people, to be honest. I mean, I want to also master my channel and really master what this whole movement is about. And Systems Lab Live, for those of you that are new, that are just watching this for the first time, and you're like, she just talked 5 minutes about her little workflow, But, however, excuse me, I just wanted to clean this off a bit. But while we're here talking about what the Systems Lab Live is, I just finished typing this, but it is a weekly live stream that is dedicated specifically to uncovering productivity trends, strategies for managing projects, developing efficient processes, and leading teams. That is what the Systems Lab Live is all about. Essentially, we're unpacking the everyday work on a weekly basis. And what do we mean by the everyday work? We mean just that: the projects, the tasks, and everything in between. I was actually thinking about switching out the name to say it's everyday work, but maybe too general. So we're going to keep with the Systems Lab Live and keep on keeping on with this live show and uncover, like I said, uncovering productivity trends. So much is happening in this day and age of strategy this and strategy that. How do I do this? How do I do that? And I just feel it's so important that we come together to talk about what's emerging, what's been successful, what's not, showcase that through case studies. And it's not about perfection. It's not about pushing a particular system or a process onto you all. It's really just about, I want to show you what I'm seeing, what are the trends, and then leave it up to you to actually go and investigate even more. Last week we talked about Build Week with Buffer, which was very exciting. Buffer has a Build Week that they do, and they just really go about it in a unique way where they actually are taking time away from their regularly scheduled day-to-day program and going off into the wilderness, so to speak, and looking at what they can create and how they can enhance the product in the company. I, for one, think that is just, excuse me, my mind. I, for one, think that is genius, and that everyone should have some sort of build week. Somebody should have a build week of sort. Well, thank you for those listening to those opening remarks. But we're here today and this week. We're only going to have one live stream this week to crystallize and to really start to pull apart work management. We've been talking a lot about work management, an emerging trend that's really been around for a while. But again, when we have post COVID or navigating the new normal, right? When we think about ways in which we are collaborating, working, planning, organizing, building, this aspect of work management has certainly been an emerging theme that has really kind of taken over brands and businesses and the way in which we go about systematizing and streamlining workflows inside of our brands and businesses. And so we've taken these past couple of weeks to really dive into what is work management and what are these individual processes that are a part of work management. And so we're taking this a bit slow, and we'll probably spend a few more weeks on the components of work management, and we'll get into that in a minute. We just have a couple things just to kind of go through. I'm gonna share the screen. Wait, how do I want to do this? Oh, here we go. Okay. We are. Here we are. Here we are. Okay. All righty. Welcome to the Systems Lab Live. Welcome to the Systems Lab Live, October 24th edition. This presentation is also powered by Miro. By the way, we're using Miro this quarter. Miro to test out this tool and to see exactly features and functions and how we like it. And I like to use Whimsical. Shout out to the Whimsical family. But if you are a consultant, a service provider, if you are in an industry where you have to present, if you have to show things, if you're leading something, Miro and Whimsical are fantastic tools to use as presentations. I like it a lot because it allows me to take out things that are in my head and be able to give a visual component, a visual feel to it. Okay. So we are going to get into the presentation piece of it. Okay. I see what's going on. This is good to know. All good things to know about Miro because they have a very interesting, yeah. Okay. The presentation is very interesting. All right. Let's get on to it. Today, in terms of what is on the agenda today, we're going to talk a bit about the Loom collaboration report. I have a few notes. I'm going to pull it up. Pull it up. Systems Lab Live. I'll pull up my notes for week 3. Cool. We're ready to rock and roll, people. We're going to be talking about Loom and their collaboration report. Loom is, for me, a long time app partner, I should say, in my business. I like Loom a lot for ease of use for screen recording, for mini tutorials, for quick messages, async communication, all of those great things. And I like that Loom is one of the leaders in this effort of doing work better, collaborating better, communicating more efficiently. Then we're going to get into Inside Work Management Part 3, and then we're going to talk about what's next. I want to really start to, as we build upon each of these live streams, I think it's important that we kind of center ourselves, so to speak, on what we should be doing in between these live streams. What should we coming back and doing? By the way, though, speaking of what we should be doing in between, I definitely want to make sure that you all are aware of the Systems Lab live crew. Okay, which text live to 626-722-5444. Get on the list to know when I go live as well. There should be a link too where I should test this out. There should be a link too if you want to support via buymeacoffee.com. Let me see something. I'm just over here testing out my own keyword prompts. Too funny. Shout out to Superphone. It's the Superphone way. Okay. All right. Wait a minute. What happens? You always got to do that, folks, where you can literally test out your own stuff. It's important. Okay, I think it's going. Anyway, text live and you'll get hooked up. All right, y'all, let's get into the Loom collaboration report. I believe that oh, you know what? I know what it's doing. I think I've already texted this before, so we're good. We're good, folks. We're good. Let's look at the Loom collaboration report. Loom has a report that was released in September of 2020. September 2022. And the name of the report is How to Make Collaboration Your Team's Superpower. We're going to take a couple of weeks, this week, probably the next week, maybe the week after, just depends on how we want to break this down. But I want to kind of comb through this report slowly because now more than ever, collaboration is the currency in terms of how we are going about the work, the building of all the things, so to speak. And I want to set the stage for you all on the work culture and what we know now as the future of work, which is now. So pre-pandemic work culture, we were talking about collaboration and it was happening. Now, in terms of unique strategies and having a true emphasis on collaboration, was there an exact push for collaborating, with team members and, collaborating where we really sort of knew, the exact importance of it? I don't know all the time if that was always the case. You know what I'm saying? So I want to highlight, the fact that collaboration is necessary. We shouldn't be working solely in silos. Should you work independently? Yes, absolutely. How much of that is solo work versus, collaborating, and how many times and what does that look like? That's definitely going to be up to you depending on the circumstance and the style and the direction of what you want to do. So the future of work really focuses on how is it that we can best communicate, collaborate, get the work done in such a way where it's not taxing, and it also heightens the level of quality of work in which you're delivering to your clients, your community, X, Y, and Z. So a couple of things, right? As you start thinking about who you need for a project, for a team, let's start thinking in ways of, because we're a collaborative, because this theme of collaboration, start thinking of people that you want to potentially hire or bring on that will be great collaborators, as well as independent executors. Healthy balance. But how to make collaboration your team's superpower, right? That's the theme of what we're talking about today. We'll break down a couple of concepts. Today's leaders are being offered a unique opportunity to redesign the work experience for a new era. We hear a lot still about, we got to get back to the old way of things. We got to get back to pre-pandemic. And it's like, that's lost. That's gone. Even for entrepreneurs that were already remote, that were hybrid, they too have to think about redesigning the work experience. Notice the word experience. Gone are the days of push the assignment in, push it back out. So Ashley, why do you say that? I say that because not only do companies have to redesign the work experience, people who are being hired or people who are joining teams, they are now thinking about the life they want to design for themselves. And so it's no longer, I'm satisfied with pushing this out. You push it in and push it back out. Now I have to think about my mental health, my well-being. Is this worth it? What about the pay? What about the incentives? I want to have a flexible schedule. For those of you that have always been remote and always have been, or hybrid, you now have to start thinking about what does a balanced work experience look like? And what I mean balance, meaning that it's not about being fair, but balance from the perspective of what makes sense in terms of clients, deadlines, the work, and how do we make it that it is not burdensome for someone, even if they are at the computer most of the day. There's not a burden of proof that's going on in terms of what you are producing. When we talk about collaboration as a team superpower, we talk about how we have to redesign that. Leaders will need to prioritize communication and collaboration. Why is that important that we make sure we highlight that? Communication is essential, one of the lifelines of the business, and then collaboration. We just talked about how working in silos is no more. Communication means is that having a plan for communication. I love it. I am finishing up a podcast season on the communication breakdown, and I talk about what does it mean to create a plan for communication. It's one of my favorite things to talk about this podcast episode. I think it is how to create a communications plan, but we just go in on this topic of communication plans. And so there should be an outline for it. There should be a plan of action. It should be agreed upon within the team and with the stakeholders involved. You should know that if you're working with certain levels of a particular client, pointing out and asking, who's going to be my POC? It could be the CEO. It could not be. What's the level of detail that you're going to give to a particular stakeholder? Some people don't need all of the meat and potatoes. Meat and potatoes. I haven't really had potatoes in a while. Mini tangent. Let's go back and focus. But you get what I'm saying. You got to have a plan for communication. It stirs me. This type of talk stirs me in my spirit, and I'm gonna not go there because I have a whole podcast episode on there. And so once that comes out, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. But as we talk about the communication breakdown, I'm just super proud of the season at hand. Really had to redesign it in such a way. They're about 30 minutes each, except for a couple of the interviews, which are like 50, 60 minutes. I only have 3 more episodes left. 2 of them are interviews, and one of them is another solo. So I look forward to what's to come of that. So I think total is like 11 episodes. And those of you, again, I didn't even know, girl, you had a podcast, Conversations with Ask Ash, where we, similar to Systems Lab Live, but different, but we take a seasonal approach to the content where we really break down everyday conversations about projects, leading teams, and why systems and processes are important for your life and business. And so the communication breakdown does just that. It's your Netflix limited series. All right, we done with that. That was a nice little commercial break, y'all. We gotta get to it. All right, this is a cool little chart situation. I thought was pretty cool. Let me make sure that I just wanna. Can I zoom this little puppy out? Oh Lord, hold on. Okay, we got it. Boom. Technology support for a hybrid workforce. What do you need in terms of the tech stack? And I was actually, this is good that we brought this up because I was actually going to do a live on async remote work tools. And so here we are. A means of sharing files and other content. So again, communication and collaboration, we're going hand in hand with this. Google Drive, Dropbox. We got to share the files. We got to add comments to the files. We got to turn the files back around. Video conferencing solution. Zoom, Google Meet. When we need to, we video chat. Chat or instant messaging software. Slack, Microsoft Teams. You can also use the chat feature within a project management tool as well. Workflow and project management software. You guessed it, folks. You need a PM tool. You need that one single source of truth that's going to tell you project status. That's going to tell you what to do with the task. You know, what needs to happen, what's the workflow for it. This is what you need to be successful. Pair that with a process, a documented process, and you will have success. You will have success. All righty. Is that all I had to say? I believe that's all I have to say about that. Yes. I think the only other thing I was going to say about, and I'll just go back. The only thing I was going to say, about this is that what's missing from the conversations about the future of work. So this is an excerpt that I pulled from the collaboration report, is that oftentimes we're hearing the conversation of, we need to go back to the way things were. I wish they were the way that they were back when they were. You know what I'm saying? So this is applicable to those that already have remote teams, those that have fully transitioned to remote, those that are hybrid. Just want to lay a couple things out when we're talking about the future of work. We're really diving into organizational culture and work management. Okay. This is an important point that we want to break down. That's why we're going to go straight into inside work management, because work management focuses on all the processes and how things are interconnected. Project management is just a subset of this is an extension of work management. Very deliverable based focus. So if you are an agency, if you're a service provider, consultant, this aspect of project management sometimes can be seen as short-sighted, or like, oh, I do more than that. That's fine, because there's long-term projects, short-term projects, but for the most part, as you think about the future of work, the culture, and everything in between, you want to think about a couple things. Number one, how can we help people focus without taking away from the things that they need to do during their normal life, right? Like, essentially, how do we increase a person's productivity without adding more work hours? What are the tools that are needed? What are the tools that are needed that can really enhance someone's productivity? So we're looking at it from the perspective of time. We're looking at process, and we're also looking at technology. So when we think about amplifying the team superpower, which is collaboration, are you empowering your team members with the technology, with the tools, with the process? Are we doing that? We may not be. Process and flow. Next segment, process and flow. Let's get to it, folks. A little recap on work management is the use of workflows to develop and distribute information in the form of individual and team tasks. Okay, this is how we are really creating a system for the work in such a way that it really helps to streamline projects and tasks. And as we see here, work management is comprised of project resource time, process and client management, as well as business intelligence. As you see here, we got process and client management. Those are going to be the next two focuses. Process management, we'll talk tonight, and client relationship management. We will do some good recon on that, good old research, and I will think through some examples as well. Work management introduces reusable workflows that your team can use time and time again for completing tasks. Again, this is an aspect of efficiency. You know, again, what we talked about before is when we look at the future of work, we want to make sure that we are not adding to people's time. We want to ensure that the processes that are in place, they make sense, that they make sense, and that they're valuable to the team, invaluable to those that are distributing information for execution. All right. So when we talk about process management, we're talking about how efficient are we using our resources. However, process management considers resources only as they're used for analyzing and measuring business performance. So it's not inventory, it's not, things like that. Process management is really looking at how are we utilizing resources, the people, the money, those things to improve and measure success. Measuring business. That's what I meant to say. I think also too, if we think about process management, I think it's also a matter of how am I creating a process that is A, streamlined, and B, effective. So it's looking at it from the perspective of who do I need, or really what do I need, who do I need, or you could reverse it. Who do I need? What do I need? And how will I get there? I think that's important for us to also understand too. Yes, we have a very techie type of, language and everything. I do believe in measuring success. That's really important. You have to want to know how things went and how to go about doing some problem solving. We have some more on process management. So any activities that follow the same steps every time, such as a purchasing process. So if you are looking at it from the perspective of someone is looking at having a quarterly enrollment of a program, process management, here we come. Okay. Process management, here we come. So that is, a few examples, and a process where reviews and approvals are mandatory. Yeah. If there's a will, or if there's a way to automate that, that's solid. A creative design or content development process. Absolutely. Absolutely. What y'all think about this so far as we take a little sip break? Does this resonate with you? Truly, honestly, deeply. It just gives you something to start to think about. Process management. So we're looking at it from the perspective of already going about establishing a particular workflow. And again, repeatable processes. Repeatable. Example of workflow and process management. You want to make sure that A, there's a legend. B, you also know why, what is the symbolism behind in progress, under review, approved and rejected, canceled and done. But let the record show, right? Let the record show that this is a perfect opportunity to map out your process. Absolutely. You got a little start and you got open, you got arrows pointing this way and that way, in progress, under review, approved and done. Again, workflow. We're having repeatable processes and we're making sure that the outcome is what the intended outcome should be. Yeah. Okay, let's look. So let's talk a bit about what's next. Because I think this is really important for us to really understand, like, what should we be really taking away? And I wanted to, I'm glad that we are at least, we'll probably end a few minutes early, but I think it's important that as we continue to explore work management and get a good understanding of what it is, that we just start to identify the work processes. And what's cool about work management is that it's not going to be the same for everyone. People are going to have different types of processes. And so that's why I made sure to highlight content creation, client management, project management, outlining in terms of a deliverable based, what does that project management process look like? How are we designing that from start to finish? Yeah. How do we do that? How do we do that is the question. So the first thing that I want you to think about is identify the work processes inside of your business. You could have finance, it could be like your client management and relationship system and client experience. That could be one. Start thinking about that, right? Start to think about that. If you're stuck or if you have any questions, I'm definitely going to put up the link. If you text live to 626-722-5444, that would be fantastic, so that we can all just be on the same page of what it is that we're building and looking to do. And it is me that texts back. But if you want to learn a bit more and you want to kind of see this come into fruition, for sure, stay up to date with me and just text me a question. I'll text back. I ain't got no problem with it. I ain't got no problem. All right. What is next? Well, that's it. Yeah, that is the what's next, folks. That is the what's next. So, very good. So, folks, that is all. That is all that we have today. It has certainly been a really good time. It's been an excellent time as we reviewed the Loom collaboration report. We went inside what is work management, and we talked about what's next. What is next? So, as I continue to bring you all some insights and share with you. Please know that this is a journey ahead. Don't rush the process, and always process over the tool. It'll trip you up if you don't. Okay? If you are quick pivot, if you are looking to amplify your managing of projects, please, please, please feel free to text 622-722-5444 if you want to join the Ask Ash text crew, all on productivity tips, managing projects, and leading teams. Small micro actions. Small micro actions. That is what we are after. So, with that said, that's all that I have, y'all. That's all that I have. If in fact that you are also in need of a ClickUp setup, make sure to text what you see on the screen, hashtag VIP to 626-722-5444, so we can jump on a connection call and see what's happening. Are you clicking around ClickUp and nothing making sense? Or if you're an early bird, just learning about that as well. So that is all that I have for you all tonight. I'll see you next week. By the way, this is also my birthday week as well. And super excited to come to you all fresh and renewed, new age, new focus, and excited to get it. All right, y'all. Thank you all. And we will talk soon.